bit of the W damage as well, is kind of, I think it was an adequate nerf to the champ.
Jungle matchup here. Trundle is up. That might be why they didn't want, didn't care about the matchup because it can answers in. Also, Ambessa has to come into them. Not incredible against Danny, but still decent.
Even things like Sejuani, if they want more dedicated engage, because you're right about the flanking angles, but if they want something more dedicated. FBI brought his own sniper.
Ooh. I mean, Sniper's here too. We saw him on camera.
He was reacting to that.
Yeah.
River Jarvan.
J4, okay. I mean, generally, you're looking at what paiN wants to do. I already see what is a semblance of a dive comp. You have Annie, you have Ambessa. It's pretty clear what they were kind of want to go for going into 4-5, and I think Chitan is quite a good like Kai'Sa player. So I'm not going to outright pick it, but those things would really amplify what the comp's going for here.
Yeah, let's see if he can get something to stay safe as well. With Rivers, Jarvan coming for you with the Aurora and Aatrox, like double looking for flank angles. We'll see if he can actually stay safe. I like this method of attack.
Safe against all that. The J4 ulti and Aurora like coming in an angle. I mean, Ezreal, I guess. God. But Labubu Amumu.
Wait, that's actually pretty clever. I like that one.
I feel like that would cost so much to get that. To get the rights for that would be so expensive. That'd be crazy.
But what if it's a collaboration, you know?
There we go. But there's the safe AD carry bans we're talking about. 100 Thieves are like, okay, we're going to attack you pretty hard. Yeah. So we'd rather you be on a low mobility carry, take away the Ezreal, take away stuff, like Xayah or something like that, counter engage.
Is it a Corki ban time?
Yeah.
Lucian's already gone because he played that last game. Rel, okay.
Meanwhile, yeah, I do kind of like the idea of paiN just going full dive there with like a Rel Kai'Sa or something. So maybe that's a good Rel ban there. Could be something like a Miss Fortune ultimate over the top for them as well if they want. But then you're playing Miss Fortune into Jarvan, and that's always super annoying.
And now if you're paiN, I mean the melee supports that are available, especially with the Renata ban, is like Nautilus. Maybe they go for the Rakan. Rakan would actually go pretty hard here.
Ooh,
okay, well, 100 Thieves are taking that one away from you.
And now look at the engage options here. This is a lot of tools for the Thieves.
Yeah, and Eyla's Rakan has been really solid so far these playoffs. Morgana's making a sneaky resurgence, more so as a mid laner we saw just
surely we're not
earlier in the day in the LEC.
Well, that would put the Annie to support. I mean, it's just a hover, so,
We're not putting Annie to support. We're not doing that one. I would be surprised if this ever gets locked in.
Yeah, there's that Corki though, right? You did highlight this before. Yep.
Keep this brother safe. Now for supports, maybe it's the Kuri Alice? No, Alistar has already been picked last game. Oh, don't tell me it's
Nautilus, Leona, Bard.
Defensive Bard ultimate here an option as well as offensive ones. So Bard is definitely flexible for this comp since they have a lot of engage and dive tools themselves. But they can always be used in a nice little defensive play too.
I like the defensive option way more. When you're going for offensive Bard ults on this much mobility, it's hard because even if you hit it, they can just use their mobility right out of it unless you're perfect on your timing or close enough to follow up on the timing. So I like that defensive call a little bit more here, especially if you're able to nullify something like a Miss Fortune ultimate, which FBI is locking in. So the Miss Fortune bullet time over the top of the J4 ult, over the Rakan engage, a lot of setup for this Miss Fortune.
Yeah, I mean, I'll tell you what, I feel like 100 Thieves, more so than trying to counterpick paiN, just pick the champions they want to play the most. Yeah, that's what I see. Like, they always love playing Aurora. FBI loves MF. Eyla's Rakan's been great.
But if I'm playing MF, I don't want to play MF with a Bard ultimate and an Ambessa ultimate that could just, at the very least, it makes me think very carefully about when I start MF ulting.
I agree.
Because that makes it really easy for Ambessa to ult me, snipe me, or like Bard can always kind of.
I agree. I'm also glad that FBI is playing the MF and not Kobe. Casters, take it away.
Thank you very much, Lounge. Jat with a little bit of Kobe shade there at the very end. But man, speaking of who's playing what, if I'm River, I am so happy with these first couple of games. I get to play permaban Panth for the first game and then trademark Jarvan for game 2. He's living it up in the jungle.
Absolutely. And I mean, Quid is going to be playing Aurora as well. So he's going to be on, another kind of lane dominant champion here. And Quid looked insanely good in the first game. Absolutely was clapping in the 1v1. And I don't want to take too much credit, but I was playing some arena with Quid the other day.
Oh, okay.
Oh, yeah. And I was kind of the weights to his Rock Lee, you know?
You were
dragging him
the time
down.
chamber.
Okay.
Exactly. I was giving him
Nice.
a real challenge, let's put it that way, to win some of these games. And now the weights are off. He's no longer playing with me, he's playing with River. So just think how it's just a breath of fresh air. It's a sigh of relief, you know?
It's a Rocky movie, and you're the
Wow.
big slab of meat in the freezer that he has to
I'm just
punch
hanging on his back as he's running up the mountain. And now he's free and clear.
He's in there, man. He definitely had a strong game in game number 1. It felt like Roamer's lane phase was over before level 2, right?
Yeah.
Like, Quid just completely ran
That's
that
the
lane.
Azael difference.
That's the Azael guarantee.
We're going to start calling that every time Quid gets a lane lead.
There you go.
The Azael difference.
I'm available to enter any pro players arena games.
Wow.
You need to step up and sharpen up before Worlds. They know where to call.
Exactly.
But
You
this
need someone
time
to really
around-
drag you down.
We do have paiN over on the blue side here in this one. So we'll see if that really changes anything around here in game 2. But we do have Kobe standing by for an interview with Coach Golden Glue.
All right, Grayson, what are your thoughts on our first North versus South game that we had here in split number 3? We were pretty happy with it on the analyst test.
It's a really good question. No, I mean, I think game 1 went pretty well. It was a lot slower than I expected it to be, but I felt like we kind of had control of the game. We could have maybe closed it out a bit cleaner, but it felt pretty good overall.
And as far as the drafts that you had here in game number 2, what is your main goal for your team, main concern that paiN are looking to accomplish?
I mean, I think both comps are very, very skirmish heavy, so it's just going to be a lot of like how the fights play out mechanically. I think the one thing we need to be worried about is making sure like they don't get to any one-shot somebody, especially like Aurora or Jarvan. And obviously we have to worry about the Bard ult, so that's pretty much just Miss Fortune. So I don't know, it should be a good skirmishy game.
All right, well, Bob, so far in this series, we'll let you get back to your team as River is already taking away the blue buff. Take it away, casters.
Thank you, Kobe. Yeah, River is going to be spotted on this invade and playing around kind of some of the mid-prio coming out of that Aurora. carioK is headed up here.
Yeah, carioK has significantly more HP than River does. River wanted to hang around and try to steal this Gromp, and he does get it. Flash for Gromp, the classic trade.
That's River, man.
Just getting in his
man.
face, getting in his head, getting this Gromp.
He's so annoying, and he's
gonna
back
reinvade.
to
Oh,
contest the Wolves.
He's right back in there. It's level 3 against level 2, and he sidesteps the win, becomes
That's my
lightning
go.
on top of it. carioK, he loses his Gromp, he loses his blue, he's losing his Wolves. Every single one of these critters belongs to River.
You forgot to mention he's going to be losing his sanity.
Yeah.
That River got away with this.
I love watching River, but it was brought about to you by mid lane prio.
There
so
you go.
Azael, you can maybe also
You're
take
welcome,
credit
River.
for that
No
too.
problem.
That's a long-range alley-oop, man.
Oh my gosh. That's
Azael MVP for playing arenas with Quid so that River could invade and steal all 3 camps
It's
from
the
that quadrant.
Dominoes meme, you know?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's just like
The
that
first
one
domino
little-
is Azael
Arena
inting
with
Quid
you,
in
and then,
arena.
oh my god.
Hey, man, if it works, it works. I
Exactly.
mean, there's no kills on the board, and it's a couple hundred gold lead here early on for 100 Thieves just from the early control they have.
Yeah, and it's going to be difficult for carioK to really contest anything and take something from River. River's already clearing out his bot side of the jungle, so. And this is also kind of brought to you by bot lane prio. This MF talk to any AD carry, and they really love how much pressure she's going to have in some of these lanes. As we see, River on Jarvan 4, he's so known for this champ that we once just photoshopped his head onto it.
It's good.
Very good
River
job.
I'm
Jarvan.
surprised we didn't do that here, honestly.
You can, you kind of squint. You
Yeah.
can see him in that
Next
helmet.
time he becomes Jarvan.
His features are just hidden by the helmet, you know?
That's what we have
That's
to do.
River in there.
We need to get him a real-life Jarvan helmet that he can
We
play while he
do.
wears, that he
Ah.
can wear while he plays the game.
We should get him
That's
that
the
as
next
a gift.
evolution.
Yeah.
100 Thieves, though, 600 gold lead here, 4.5 minutes into the game. We're talking about priority in mid. We're talking about priority in bottom. 100 Thieves kind of just have priority everywhere.
And I mean, it's kind of feeling similar to last game, you know, where it was 100 Thieves, you know, really doing well in the lanes, creating these advantages here. Ambessa is a pick that is popular in both the North and the South, though. You can see in the North it has done very well. Largely, I would say thank you, Thanatos, who is one of the only guys who kept playing it and was nasty on it. You can see still a pretty successful pick in the South, but obviously not nearly as good as far as the record goes.
Ooh, Wizer in some danger. Dhokla's going in for the solo kill, but he does not quite have enough damage to seal the deal on that one. Dhokla putting the pressure on here early in the top lane.
Yeah, and Dhokla's kind of little career resurgence has been just kind of a real treat to watch. We've talked about how much he has brought to this team, specifically around a lot of his Rumble picks, right? They mentioned Rumble and Sion as 2 champs that they wanted to have him on, but he's just been doing really, really well, looking for a lot of creative angles.
Yeah, we've got a big problem in the CS
Jungle
department
diff.
in the jungle for carioK. That early heist in the blue quadrant there, it just set him back so far compared to River's Jarvan.
Yeah, and I mean, that's also experience is a big concern there as well. You know, you can see where River is and where carioK is. You know, he's down with the supports. carioK is down just above 1 player, and that's his own Bard.
Not the best sign here. He's going to have to lock in, dial in, and make sure that he can bounce back and have some presence, some pressure here in this game. A reminder to all y'all watching, we are getting very, very close to the end of the season here as we get closer and closer to Worlds and to Dallas. Today and tomorrow, fans can still cast their ballots for the Kia Player of the Year, Kia Rookie of the Year, and Kia All-Pro teams in the QR code on your screen. The race for mid lane All-Pro is coming down to the wire. It is incredibly close. So specifically for that one, if you see any of these guys popping off, if you like what Quid's doing today, get in there and vote.
Yeah, we kind of heard some leaks on the contest for mid is incredibly close right now. So definitely make your opinion known. As we see River down here. See if he'll start up this Drake with the prio that he's got.
Well, it's Mountain Drake again too.
Yeah,
so this one was really slow to start in the previous game. Didn't really come online until about like the 10-minute mark, somewhere even past there, I think, closer to 13, 14 minutes was the first Drake. As carioK does at least secure his red buff before River shows up yet again. The Jarvan pressure remains.
Yeah, River just constantly putting on this pressure here. Won't be able to find an angle just yet onto Roamer, but is level 6, so could look to go pretty aggressive if he so chooses. We've been talking a lot about Titan, and for a good reason. This guy really is, you know, the star of the show. You know, when you're looking at how he performed in Split 3, even though the team did not do as well as they were hoping, he was still individually looking really, really good in the LTA South.
What time there on Kuri takes him down to about 300 HP. FBI popping the barrier as Titan has to try to get back away now. Exhaust was used by Eyla, who's now got to be so careful himself. Down to about 50 HP here on the Rakan, just barely survives. Always remember to drink your potions.
Yeah, and he had 3 biscuits, so I don't think he was likely to die there. You know, he just insta-pop the biscuits, has those potions available, and is going to stay safe, but got quite low. And, you know, did trade out his Summoner spell, you know, with that spell book. Both sides, they did that. Both sides traded barrier. So very even trades up in that top side. And this time it does feel like Titan and Kuri are able to get more pressure than they had last game at the very least.
Yeah, I liked their counter to that. I thought it was really good to recognize those windows as we see the next fight is going to be around Grubs, potentially. We see carioK starting those up. River is right here.
Okay, ooh, close fight there, but the first grub does go over to paiN Gaming and carioK. 100 Thieves walking Eyla and Quid over, but paiN's bringing everybody in here as well. 100 Thieves does have to play with respect to this. Eyla has the quickness ready to go, also the flash available on that Rakan. Quid goes in between worlds, and they're trying to engage on carioK. He gets himself away for now, but the first blood has already gone to paiN Gaming. Quid trying to back away from this one as River is also down to about 500 HP. FBI and Quid firing back here with a little bit more damage onto Titan, but Kuri doing a great job locking these guys up. Now FBI and Quid are both about to fall. paiN Gaming smashes them.
That's a big fight for paiN there, and FBI had no ulti, so we really full sent it. You know, you're going for this big setup with the Aurora, with the Jarvan, but MF has no ultimate, so it's not really possible to have the kind of follow-up that they wanted to. And of course, Corki, rockets are always going to be available. You know, imagine this fight if the MF ulti is up and available. Also, the initial engage from Eyla really doesn't do too much. He just gets the charm down onto carioK, can't actually get back onto any of those key carries, and carioK already had the Crescent Guard up, so he's able to absorb so much of this damage. And look at that Bard binding over the wall from Kuri. That really does make all the difference.
Yeah, and they're able to clean up the fight here. Now I'm really curious to see how paiN play the map, because we talked about the strength of this bot lane, and I think an underrated thing is kind of getting Kuri out on this map, right? He can be such a huge playmaker for this paiN team. So I am really curious to see him kind of roaming alongside carioK, trying to set up a lot of these neutral objective fights in the near future.
I mean, this is an individual gold lead for everyone on paiN compared to their 100 Thieves counterparts. This is a great state of the game for them 10.5 minutes in here.
It really is. And I mean, 100 Thieves, let's not pretend that they don't do this sometimes, you know, in the north as well, right? Well, they'll take these fights. They don't necessarily have the perfect setup for it. In this case, I think just that missing MF ult was such a big deal, as Dhokla going to be harassed here a little bit. But 100 Thieves never deviates from their plan, right? If they're going to play dive, they're going to play dive. They're not going to be scared off by one bad team fight. They will keep going at you, trying to force errors, trying to punish.
And there it is. Immediately, River and Eyla jumping in. Titan taking a ton of damage from the bullet time over the wall. FBI's got the firepower. carioK wants to get one back. River's down to 150 HP, trying to stay alive here. A double kill for FBI. And Eyla and River both get away.
And just as we set it up, there's what 100 Thieves were looking for. They're always looking to scrap, especially with this MF J4 combo. Pull it off really, really well here to get those 2 kills.
Yeah, if at first you don't succeed, try again. 100 Thieves embody this. They knew there was no flash on Titan, so they full send it. They know that FBI has the bullet time, so he's able to get that over the wall. River slowly working away on this, but going to be pushed back by Kuri. And not able to actually secure it because no one was there from his team to help. So paiN will be able to keep this leashed. It's going to be them grabbing first dragon of the game. And it's a much closer game too here.
Yeah, good for paiN to be able to move in, take this Drake, as 100 Thieves are going to kind of reset, maybe make some moves over to this top side with Aurora headed there, with J4 headed back into the top side jungle. But yeah, nice response from paiN, and this game is a lot closer. And also just looking at paiN's comp, I do feel like they have way more answers into what 100 Thieves want to do, right? And it's pretty easy to set up fights with this composition as well, as we saw earlier.
Ooh, nice engage there from River, using the blast cone into the immediate EQ combo to land a little bit of damage onto Roamer, but no real serious threat here. Kuri is going to drop the ward over the wall because River is right back to his jungle invading ways again, looking to steal away another Gromp. He's got Eyla right next to him. Top lane's being shoved in by Quid here at the same time for an additional point of pressure, so River can take the camp, get back away. There's that one lonely, isolated little grub left there in the pit, so River should be able to pick this one off pretty easily before the Rift Herald would spawn and take its place.
Sending them up to heaven with his buddies.
Yeah.
Goodbye, little grub.
He's doing him a favor. You know, he's lonely.
he's gonna go.
Oh, I thought you were gonna go the Flowers route again and say that they're hideous and deserve to die. Like Flowers
really
was just
ugly.
going crazy.
You gotta put them out of their misery, man.
Yeah, it's kind of messed up.
The grubbies are messed up looking. I don't know. Some people.
I think they're ugly cute. I maintain.
I don't know, man. I'm not feeling it. River, he's not feeling this invade any longer either. He is immediately going to back away, seeing carioK and Kuri ready to protect the blue.
They're like the pugs of the Rift, you know?
No, come on, man. Pugs look way better than grubs
Pugs
do.
are pretty ugly, but they're ugly cute.
Yeah, no, I think they are on that side of ugly cute. I think grubs are just ugly. Grubs are nasty looking. You wake up in the morning, you're a grub, you're like, ugh, I don't want to look at the mirror.
Where's Pugma in
cute.
this? Ugly cute?
Wait, as long as the sound effect is muted, because then
As long as the sound.
Yeah, then it's just ugly, because those sounds are horrible.
I actually forgot its name was Pugma. I always called it Dogmaw because it was one letter different from Cogmaw. I forgot that his name was actually
that
Pug.
would be that'd be a better
Well, there's our
In my
last
opinion.
little grubby boy. This was our
Hanging out.
our camera view of him. This was before his demise because he was picked up by River and 100 Thieves to make it so they at least got one of those. But remember, paiN Gaming were 3 kills to nothing, so they already secured the feat of Warfare. They've already got the Drake and 2 out of 3 of the Grubs, so 1 more neutral, and they've also got feats for the extra move speed and boot upgrades later on.
Yeah, they're in a really good position in this early game, and like I talked about, I do think their comp has so many answers, especially to catch the MF unaware. So you're going to have the Jarvan looking for prio targets on paiN, but paiN have so many answers to get picks and to get onto this MF.
And honestly, I don't even think they have to necessarily dive for MF. I do think that you can kind of just absorb the dive and kill off whatever is sent in here from 100 Thieves, right? Because if MF goes for an ult, Bard can just ult that, you know, pretty quickly and shut that down. And if Jarvan or Aurora are jumping in and you just anti-stun them and full send everything on them, you can probably just burst down the front line that 100 Thieves have. So to me, I think that's like a really easy way to play it out, where carioK can have the Crescent Guard up, can just be absorbing it. 100 Thieves want to fight though.
Okay, we're going to have a battle for the Herald that's already down to about 3,000 HP. 100 Thieves on the approach. River wants to contest for the objective. The eyeball is ready to be knocked down, and River secures the Herald, but now Quid and River got to be careful. River's already about to die, but he gets himself away somehow. Roamer's down. Dhokla's in the middle of the paiN backline, but now he has to try to disengage himself with a bullet time flying over the top, and it won't be enough. A 1-for-1 so far. Wizer's got to try to get away. River looking for the re-entry into the fight, and he finds Kuri. A little bit more damage to the bouncing bullet might be enough. FBI goes over the wall. He kills Eyla, and he wants Titan. Now Ayla's got to try to escape as carioK just barely can't find the damage. Kuri and Roamer down in trade for Dhokla, and 100 Thieves are not yet done. River still looking for the opportunity to keep this chase going. He jumps forward. He finds a quick bit of burst here onto Wizer, and one more shot from FBI is enough to do it. It's a 5-4 game for 100 Thieves.
And meanwhile, the Rift Herald is barreling down mid lane. The Rift Herald that was stolen. River on Jarvan is just insane.
I think they're not done. We are still getting even more PvP. Roamer and Kuri back into the fight now as FBI is under some serious pressure. carioK takes the kill on Eyla as both bottom laners of 100 Thieves are now down. Dhokla and River need to disengage. The overstay from 100 Thieves as paiN sends the entire cavalry back at him.
But honestly, they don't even get punished for the overstay because they get a kill back onto carioK, and I think River should be able to walk this one out. We'll see if they can knock him down. He has a blast cone though. He should be gone.
Yeah,
he's wasted so much of their time. Like, it's actually insane. They're chasing him across the entire map while Quid is pushing bot lane. He's just out.
He's on the run. The great heist.
And Quid's going to get prio over this bot lane. As you said, they're kind of in position to at least set some vision down for this Drake.
Down for the scuttle there.
Yeah.
He knows this champ so well. It's like such a pleasure to watch him on Jarvan as we see the great escape coming out of this fight. Quid looking for the flank on the top side. I want to see how this smite ends up going down.
And this is kind of how I was expecting paiN to take the fights. They just full combo River, right? They just try to kill off your front line. You don't need to try to get back in onto the MF. The bullet time does come out, but Titan's able to flash out of the very end of it. He stays alive, and these melee champs here for paiN were getting so much work on carioK as well as Wizer, but FBI is just life-stealing through this whole fight with the Bloodthirster, chases him down, thinks he has Titan, didn't account for the barrier, didn't realize that it was still up and available, otherwise he maybe could have got a kill there. And then this is that re-engage. EQ flash from River onto carioK. Looks like he maybe is going to be able to life-steal through it, but cannot do it. And then Dhokla just jumps over the side, and we have to go back to live potentially as Annie is scrapping with Dhokla, but looks like he's going to be out.
Yeah, Dhokla just popped the world ender, get away initially here, but yeah, paiN is sending more troops. Kuri has made his way to the battlefield as Dhokla continues trying to make a little bit more space. The redemption coming in to heal that Aatrox up, but there's too much burst. paiN Gaming find kill number 7.
Yeah, and I like this recognition from paiN. Again, try to overload one side, get a catch, but meanwhile, 100 Thieves, are barreling down mid. They got Drake. Quid is going to be able to take down this bot tier 1, and paiN give up so much in trying to get that catch, succeeding, but getting that catch onto Dhokla.
Yeah, I mean, you do get a kill, you do get a tier 1 top, but you're losing the tier 2 bot, you're going to lose the tier 1 bot, tier 2 mid and the tier 1 bot very likely, and they're denying minions because no one is answering Quid still. No one's even heading down there to start to answer Quid, so you're going to lose multiple waves, and this is a very expensive play for paiN, honestly.
And Wizer's in trouble. Maybe.
Wizer
We got no damage. That's an Ambessa.
Yeah, that's it. He's fine. It's Jarvan and Rakan. They're not going to put a ton of threat onto him with just the two of them. But it is a
Ambessa always has
1,500
another
gold lead
dash.
Yeah.
here for 100 Thieves. This is also 2 neutral objectives for either side. So next neutral objective is going to determine the feats. And guess what it is? The clock's
favorite.
about to strike Otacon. And with the amount of fighting that we've been getting here in this second game,
God. That is like the 4th recall he has stopped from Wizer.
he is not allowed to go home.
No.
He's in their heads.
I mean, this is River to a T, man.
No, that's a sad
he
beat.
just wants to be as annoying as he possibly can with the invades, with the harassing and the recall.
Nice engage from Eyla immediately with the quickness into the knockup on Titan, who has to try to get away. Goes on a magical journey through the wall, staying alive for now. carioK with some pressure onto the back line of 100 Thieves, but Titan is already down. Kuri nearly joins them. carioK is not tanky enough to survive this one. 100 Thieves get 2 kills and almost found a 3rd.
You know what? Otacon is fine here.
Yeah.
Go for it.
Let's go.
No problem from me, as they're going to be able to go up. They get this catch on the Titan, really nicely set up by Eyla. And River held his ulti for so long. He always had the ultimate available, so even after they get through that magical journey, it just doesn't matter. Roamer TP's bot to try to get something back, but you're losing the kills, you're losing map control, you're going to lose Otacon, you're going to lose the tier 1 top, and 100 Thieves are just getting more and more and more out of these fights.
And I just love the way that they recognize, again, we talked about when this 100 Thieves is making their miracle run, what made the difference, their willingness to pull the trigger and all follow up. I love that you pointed out how River uses his Jarvan ult, because it almost becomes the threat of the ult is just as important as the ult itself, right? And he's able to get right through the back line, instant ult. Really, really nice. Again, just a pleasure to watch him play.
Now they're going to try to catch Roamer here.
Okay, Roamer could be the target. Eyla jumps in with a grand entrance. Nobody else from 100 Thieves is here just yet as River and Quid finally arrive. Over the wall goes the Jarvan, but a nice binding into the wall from Kuri slows the 100 Thieves onslaught. Tempered Fate at melee range only delays the inevitable as Eyla jumps in for the supportal combat, knocks Kuri down, and 100 Thieves will just continue finding these picks and taking over the rim.
I mean, it just took paiN so long to get that bottom lane tier 1. Then they wanted to greed for waves after it, and they stayed around for a very long time. And 100 Thieves, again, are just in their face. I mean, River has a 2-level advantage over carioK. He's just not scared at all. Maybe he should be.
Yep, now he gets punished, though. Nice shutdown. Kill credit over to Titan. A double kill for the Corki as Eyla also overextends. 100 Thieves getting a little greedy themselves, trying to punish paiN on the very outskirts of their base. But paiN, they send all the backup, they reinforce their own lines, and they knock River and Eyla down.
This too is 100 Thieves, right? Sometimes when they're feeling themselves, they end up making plays like this where they go a little too over-aggressive. Unfortunately for paiN, there isn't a lot they can get done on the map outside of reset, kind of push out these waves, settle, because no neutral objectives are up.
Yep, and if you don't love River when he's running it down, you don't deserve him when he's 1v9ing.
Exactly,
So, you know,
exactly.
it's 2 sides of the same coin.
I mean, hey, man, he's 1-1-8. He has 100% kill participation in this game. And honestly, when you look at the bottom lane, it's 8 out of 9 kill participation for both FBI and Eyla as well. So this bottom lane duo plus jungler combo has really just been a part of everything here in game number 2 for 100.
Yeah, I mean, they've been fantastic, right? They are really kind of playing on that knife's edge, and sometimes these fights will go bad. But they've played the map very, very well. Curry popping Ghost. He wants Quid.
Okay, Quid, let's see if he can make enough distance here. Kuri goes on the magical journey. The TP's coming in, trying to back up paiN. Quid with a flash away, does not want to get caught by the Tempered Fate. Eyla shows up just to guarantee
the lanes, though, again.
Quid's escape.
Yeah, and every time paiN try to overload the side, try to make these plays, 100 Thieves is pushing elsewhere, right? You see Dhokla pushing down top, FBI escorting that wave in mid.
No TP, top tier 2 is going to probably die.
I was thinking they might, River was looking like he wanted something.
Yeah, I mean, it's just like
Yeah.
they sent all 5 bot for that, and they used their only TP, right? So that is such an expensive proposition to go for that. Now it's solo gold here for Dhokla. Dokla's 2-2-2, been very quiet, didn't dominate in the 1v1. He's up 1.5k.
Yeah, it's the largest individual lead over your counterpart on the enemy team is that top lane diff between Dhokla and Wizer. Now 100 Thieves working on this. Drake, it will be secured by Quid as carioK has to pop the ulti, but immediately Roamer's ready to lead the charge in. Quid and FBI are both going to be taken low, but they aren't dead yet. Quid's going between between worlds hopping around, but it is not enough. He can't get away. More pressure onto River. paiN Gaming have killed 2 and haven't lost a single man. It's a big engage from the Annie to start things off, and paiN Gaming are happy with it.
Yeah, really clutch stun coming out of Roamer, and we saw River trying to use that Jarvan ult just out of range of the MF ult, right? So that was not able to combine for 100 Thieves. And again, really nice recognition from paiN in some of these fight setups of where they can get some kills. We'll see if they're able to get anything off of it on the map, maybe go up towards this top side, get some vision down for Baron, because 100 Thieves did end up with that Drake.
Yep, they did. And FBI just did not get much of value, from his ultimate whatsoever. I'm not even gonna call it a one-man ult, because the only thing it hit was Tibbers. So that's a one-bear ult, and that is not what we're looking for with the MF ulti. Got pushed back and just barely was out of range of the other side of the Cataclysm, so couldn't actually connect his ulti onto anyone. And you've got to be able to get value. A lot of the setup here is for this MF ulti, right? It's the Aurora ult, it's the Jarvan ult, it's all these tools to slow them down and hold them in place for FBI to get that big ultimate, but had been pressured out of the fight, couldn't find an opportunity.
I mean, Azael, you're an MMO guy. You know that when you go into a raid, somebody's job is to clear the trash. Tibbers was the trash. He was just trying to make sure that everybody else could focus on the boss properly. It's unfortunately was not a winning strategy for that fight.
So just drop some coal.
Yeah, 100 Thieves are going to need to coordinate, synergize a little bit better here with those big ultis. They do still have a lead. They're up 1,500 gold. They're up 25 petals to 7, and now Dhokla and River are scrapping with Roamer and carioK. River's
Quid.
taking a lot of damage from Roamer, though, who has to try to now get away. carioK takes the kill on River, but it is a 1-for-1 here at the very start. carioK trying to get away as Quid has made his way into the fight to guarantee uneven numbers. A 2-for-1 trade favors 100 Thieves.
And already the rest of the Thieves are headed down as well, so they should be able to clean up this tier 2 turret on the bot side. Finally, and again, 100 Thieves also being able to pull the trigger, recognizing when paiN are trying to set up these kind of overload plays, when they can collapse. River playing around vision really well. Again, kind of misses that ward that was in that red buff brush out to spot him potentially. So it's not there anymore, but it was right there.
And Dhokla is getting very tanky now. Already had the Sundered's guy in the Shojin. Now has the Sterix completed. He's closing in on level 16. The amount of damage that you can soak as an Aatrox once you get to that point, with the amount of healing that you're going to be able to put out is pretty crazy. And I think that is Dokla's job in these team fights, is he needs to just play like a little bit of a crazy person. Send yourself in there. Try to force them to use spells on you, especially if you can get in the Annie's face and force Annie to use her spell rotation on you. That is so good for creating space for the rest of the team, because he's by far the tankiest member on the squad right now. And that's why I want to see him with the team at the start of these fights, so he can be putting that pressure on and making them take notice of this Aatrox.
And I do want to give some credit over to carioK on the Xin Zhao. We talked about so much how he was under all this pressure early. River was invading, stealing all of his camps away, stealing his sanity away. But carioK actually does have a very modest gold lead individually over River now. He's done a good job at staying relevant in the game and finding his role in these fights.
Yeah, and I think a lot of that did come from that initial fight where paiN ended up taking the Feat of Warfare as well, where 100 Thieves kind of overextended, overplayed their hand a little bit. As we see both teams kind of just trying to set up vision around this Baron, while Dhokla is just still, again, pushing on the side lanes. That is where I think 100 Thieves have shown they are able to get the better of paiN, is in attention to detail on these side waves.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, this game, too, has been much closer as far as the team fights go. They are going to look potentially for a fight here, but can't find it as paiN did retreat. As soon as they saw Wizer down on that bot side, 100 Thieves push forward. They're saying, okay, can we find a good fight here to force out a TP or make some sort of a play? But they're at the very least going to try to reclaim some vision down to this bot side and move over for what would be their soul point.
Exactly. With the Dragon coming up, they're looking for those opportunities to force ultis, force summoners, force anything that makes this fight easier for them to take. 100 Thieves want to steal away the enemy red buff here, and River will smite that one down, but now the engage coming out, and Big Dokes has been caught out. He wants to try to escape, but instead, he's shut down. Nice pick for paiN.
Yeah, good catch from paiN, and that should actually set up Drake really, really easily for them here. They'll be able to deny that soul point that 100 Thieves were kind of looking to set up. And again, the way that both teams have kind of tried to use these compositions to get picks, I like how similarly, we've talked about this with 100 Thieves, but paiN have been much more willing to pull the trigger in this game. I thought they played a little bit hesitantly in game 1. So I'm really pleased to see that out of them here in game 2.
Absolutely. I mean, they need to play with confidence. You have to play the style that got you here, right?
Yeah, exactly.
And Dhokla does get kind of just 100 to 0'd, even with the Sterix. He got his ulti off. He was desperately trying to get just that one auto. The Deathbringer stance auto with your ulti up at this point of the game heals a ridiculous amount. Exactly. You heal so much. So, you know, maybe he's able to survive if he gets that one auto off, but really good CC chain. They're able to lock him down. His flash does not get him over the wall. And as a result, it earns them the dragon and makes it 2-2. Keeps 100 Thieves from moving to that third dragon, putting them on soul point. And it is Hextech Soul, which is obviously super valuable.
And we do have some pretty big purchases coming in for the side of paiN as well. Death's Dance completed on Wizer does make him deceptively hard to kill. Seeker's Arm Guard unbroken, available for Roamer so that he can just flash in, make these big plays with the Tibbers. He does have that Summoner Spell cooldown ready to go, and having one of those big engages could be exactly the recipe for success that paiN needs if they want to keep challenging 100 Thieves at these objectives.
Yep, and we'll see. 100 Thieves could potentially be looking on a catch onto Wizer here. River is down here.
I mean, Titan just finished his IE, so he is very strong. Like, he has actually, you know, going in towards this crit-style build, he has Conqueror. This is a really heavily scaling build here on the Corki. He's on 4 items at this point.
Yeah, carioK finds River waiting there in the brush, but River immediately disengages it. Tempered Fate from Kuri does not find a target, so 100 Thieves are still safe for now. They're still trying to posture aggressively here in the enemy jungle, place down all these control wards, make this map dark and scary for paiN, make it a problem to leave their base.
And not only does he have this kind of aggressive build, even in the runes, he took Jack of all trades, and he has 11 different stats, so he has that max bonus on the Corki, which is, you know, 25 more AD bonus on top. So Titan is really, really strong at this point.
Very scary stuff with that Corki for 100 Thieves. They want a full send. Hit him with the big combo of the Rakan into the Jarvan with the bullet time over the top, and make sure you kill this guy, because if he's allowed to fire back, the damage potential is absolutely massive. We talk about Aatrox having all this healing, having all this shielding, but he is still a drain tank. If he cannot get off those auto attacks, if he cannot give himself some of that natural healing like we're talking about when he's in World Ender, yeah, he's going to struggle to live through some of the burst. Jarvan has 2 bruiser items. This is not a tank in the front line here. This is still just a bruiser in the jungle. So anybody that Titan gets free firing time on, he's going to seriously threaten.
Yep. And you can see Wizer looking on the side here.
Yeah, Wizer jumps in. They want to go after Quid, and they nearly kill him instantly. Titan goes unstoppable, and paiN Gaming find the pick on the 100 Thieves mid laner.
Really, really nice catch from paiN. They're still going.
Yeah, we're not done yet. Another Tempered Fate flies out. This one only finds Dhokla. He spreads his wings. The World Ender's ready to go. FBI isolated from the rest of 100 Thieves, and Titan is jumping in after the Miss Fortune. A nice turnaround from Eyla there as he wants to try to protect his AD carry, but he cannot do it. paiN Gaming, 3 kills for nothing.
Really nice catch from paiN onto the mid lane, and then follow up, pushing 100 Thieves out. This Baron should be theirs.
Yeah, it's absolutely going to be theirs. Wizer was the one to set it up. Wizer and Roamer making the play happen here onto Quid. They burst him down. He cannot survive. And then FBI had to flash out in the initial play. And when he rejoins, they just re-engage onto him, knowing he doesn't have that flash, knowing they can get in onto this AD carry and burst him down. This is a massive play here from paiN. Look at that. Dashes out of the brush. Perfect public execution. Catches onto Quid. Then the flash Tibbers is there to follow it up from Roamer. Bullet time doesn't get a lot of value, and FBI had to flash out. So when he goes over into this kind of dangerous spot, he's trying to help the team get out here. They're initially chasing in after Dhokla, and FBI wants to be in a position to back up his team, but he needs to walk the safe way around. Instead, he's too far up by himself, gets flashed on there by Wizer. Even with Eyla having some really nice peeling, pops quickness, CC's up everyone. You can see Titan, he is pumped up, and Golden Glue knows they may have just dropped this game too. It is still within striking distance, but that was a massive moment. They have the Baron. They've opened up a pretty significant gold lead here, and very likely to also be able to grab this next dragon as a result.
Yeah, this has been an awesome bounce back game 2 here from paiN, who, remember, game number 1, final score ended up, what, like 16-3? Even though it was a very slow start, it wasn't particularly close. And now with paiN having the fully completed Hourglass, having the completed Guardian Angel for Titan, it's very difficult for 100 Thieves to ever win a fight, as immediately the Tempered Fate onto River. Nice bullet time over the top, but they aren't getting a ton of results here under the health bars. Eyla's already down, and River has to continue his retreat. Quid and Dhokla can't do enough damage to provide meaningful threat on paiN, and now with the 1-for-nothing, paiN Gaming are over onto the Drake.
Yeah, and again, paiN should now be able to set up all neutral objectives in their favor. We talked about what in this composition they have to kind of deal with squishy targets like Quid, like FBI in particular, and I've really loved how they've been using the Annie and Ambessa together. Also now the Bard getting involved. We saw initially a lot of his Tempered Fates were either for him to escape getting killed or ended up being misses or flashed away from. The last few have been much more impactful.
I just think they're playing the team fights out really, really intelligently. I mean, carioK just kind of throws himself into the back line, pops Crescent Guard, and then everyone from paiN side is just blasting the front line from 100 Thieves. And FBI does not have really high consistent damage. He's struggling to actually get a good bullet time. He can't fight past the Xin Zhao. And as a result, he's just not getting a ton done, it feels like, in these team fights. Quid is having the same problem. They can't get past that front line without risking just getting stunned up and burst down. So paiN is just kind of playing front to back, utilizing the Xin as their more tanky frontliner thanks to the ult, and they are in control here. Dhokla's pushing top, and 100 Thieves aren't going to be able to do much about this.
Tempered Fate finds Eyla. Now River's going to get bursted down immediately. 100 Thieves just can't fight back. paiN pick up another one for free. The bullet time takes Kuri low, but again, still no kills for 100 Thieves.
Yeah, it's just so hard for 100 Thieves to respond now. I really, really love how paiN are using this composition, and I think the big thing for me is similar to how we talk about 100 Thieves, right? We saw a very hesitant paiN in game 1, but now they are more than willing to pull the trigger whenever they want. Wizer getting immediately into the back line, like you talked about, Isaac popping that Crescent Guard. Now that Xin Zhao is actually going to have GA as well, so he becomes even more difficult to eliminate in these fights.
I mean, they have double GA plus Zonias, and you can see paiN is playing with a lot more confidence. Titan was having his pop-off moment there.
Yeah.
Last week, we had Quad Miss versus the Quiggle. This time it is the Quiggle versus the paiN pop-off, as these Brazilian players playing with a lot of passion, love to get involved, love to be standing up and talking some trash to their opponents, and Titan having his opportunity.
It's another Tempered Fate there onto Eyla. This forces out the flash defensively just so he can get away. carioK firing back here as 100 Thieves move in to try to keep their footing here on the Rift, to stop letting paiN take everything away. But ever since paiN got their momentum, since they took the lead, they've been doing a really good job with this here, making it hard for 100 Thieves to exist on the map, and so much credit to Kuri on this Bard. Those Tempered Fates are flying out every time he's got the cooldown, it seems, and he's consistently hitting targets.
And now it also becomes way more difficult for 100 Thieves to set up any side lane pressure, potentially draw paiN apart, right? Because I think where 100 Thieves were succeeding early to mid-game was in the way that they were constantly pushing out side waves, constantly forcing paiN to overload one side so they could get much more on the opposite side of the map. That really can't happen any longer. Eyla's dead.
Adios to Eyla. Nice pick there for paiN. Enemy support down. That's one of the biggest engage mechanisms. That's one of the only way to keep people in position for these FBI Miss Fortune ultimates. With him out of the picture, paiN Gaming's feeling more comfortable than ever. They're going to force down the tier 2 turret top.
Yeah, I mean, and River was kind of looking for potential wraparound play, you know, trying to see could they find someone in that jungle. As soon as Eyla gets one shot, he has got to leave as well. They're going to lose the top tier 2. They're down now 5.6K. And now it is 100 Thieves here on the other side of things, going to have to be able to try to find a way to win this next dragon fight, to take that dragon away, or will be soul for paiN. Because they're sitting on soul point, they're sitting on a massive gold lead. You give over the Hextech soul, it feels like it's all done in this second game.
Yeah, Corki rockets flying in with a slowing chain lightning off the back of them. What is even the counterplay to this?
I mean, not a lot.
None.
And I
You
feel
just
like
die.
we're looking for a big fight from Quid as well. I feel like he's been struggling to kind of really get involved. Quid was dominating in that last game. Look how much damage carioK has done, by the way. That is actually insane. You know, the highest on his team, second highest in the entire game as a jungler.
And again, so much credit to him with how rough the game started, with how River was invading him, putting all that pressure on, setting him behind early. For carioK to bounce back and have had the impact in this game that he's had has been really good to see. And I think for Brazilian fans, this is exactly the kind of locking in that you want to see from these teams if they want to have a chance of making it to Worlds. As Wizer and Dhokla scrap off in this topside River, but nobody wants to full commit to this here just yet. Still a 5,500 gold lead for paiN. 10 seconds until the Hex Soul will spawn if they secure it. If 100 Thieves get it, it's not going to work. Quid does not get caught there by the Flash anti-ultimate, and now Titan's going to get some danger. Titan nearly dead, but he is still alive for now. Nice tempered fate onto FBI and River, but Eyla's already down. There's your resurrection onto Titan. paiN with the pressure towards the back line. Titan brought back to life by the Guardian Angel, and he does so much damage. He finally falls. Quid's going to get done. 100 Thieves with the team fighting again. carioK charging onto Quid, but he will not find it. A triple kill for Big Dokes, and 100 Thieves take the fight.
I think they just took the game. They're going right down mid just like that. I think they're going to try to end it.
There's 20 seconds on Kuri's Bard. Everybody else is dead for a significant amount of time. 35 seconds on Roamer. Even longer on Titan, Wizer, and carioK. Mid lane tier 3 turret is down. 100 Thieves pushing towards the Nexus. They will have to deal with Kuri, but there's still another 20 seconds before anybody else is available. Kuri does not have Tempered Fate on respawn to try to buy a little bit of extra time for these turrets. The first Nexus turret is gone. The second Nexus turret is going to be the target. Kuri's just trying to waste their time, but 100 Thieves will not be deterred. There's still 10 seconds on the carries, and with one fell swoop of a team fight, 100 Thieves are going to match point.
The game looked all but over for 100 Thieves. Titan goes up a little bit too far in that fight, and Quid and Dhokla are able to take over.
Yeah, I mean, Titan felt like with the GA, he could get super aggressive, could fly into the backline, be able to trade out his life like that, but he got punished so heavily, and it was really close to Dokla's ult expiring. He got the reset off of those kills, able to just start crushing through the fight. Quid based and bought a Lich Bane to make sure that they could finish there on the push. A great finish from 100 Thieves, but a very close game too.
That was crazy. paiN Gaming nearly tied the series up, but one late game team fight is all it took for the magic of 100 Thieves to come together. Lounge, how are we feeling?
We're feeling great. Feeling better.